Hi, Carol here. A great big warm welcome to my craft room. It's been a while, but I have been really under the weather, and today is the first day that I've been able to get up and do this tutorial for you. Now look at this beautiful line. That's Heat Wave, the first set, the scalloped rectangle, this gorgeous sunburst rectangle. Then we have the Surfing Wave and Sandy Beach, the Sun and Cloud die, and last but not least, Shore Lucky set. And these are gorgeous. Let's not forget Apple a Day. Isn't that a beautiful die? This set of dies and stamps, these are really sweet to work with. And I've had this project ready to go, but just didn't have a voice, and yeah, pneumonia set in. I was quite sick. But I'm up and raring to go to show you. Look at the paper line in here. And you know I always talk about Little Darling Rubber Stamp Creative 6x6 paper pads are beautiful. Now I did a canvas for you before I got sick also to match this beautiful Stamps and Dies reveal. So I wanted to get the canvas up, but it didn't go as planned. Some projects are like that. They're just not, you work at it and work at it, but it doesn't turn out like you'd like it. But I'm still going to show it. I'm going to still show it because we learn by our mistakes, and I want to put it in because it is a cute canvas until I got to about 3/4 of the way through. But I'm still going to show it. You know me. I like to show it whether I think it's, you know, it really gives me satisfaction, or if it gave me trouble, I'm still going to show it because you learn from your mistakes, right? Now this card shape is different. Yes, it is. Once I get my score tool here, and I'm going to make one groove in the 1/2 inch mark and then 2 more so that I have a nice gusset here. A really sweet fold over. You can see how nice that looks, because I am going to have something on the inside as I usually do, but I did leave some white cardstock, believe it or not, on this card. Let me zoom in a little bit and then we'll get moving on it. So what I did is, after I put the gusset in, I put some double-sided tape, and then I'm going to attach the top portion. So the way I did this tutorial, it's a little bit backwards, but I'm going to show you how I put it together in just a minute. And there you have it. And it's measures at 8 3/4 inches long by 4 1/4 inches wide. Isn't that an odd shape? But I actually did an envelope to match. I'm distressing the edges just to take off, you know, any cuttings that weren't right on when I cut down the sides, and that always helps. And then I'm going to take out my 140-pound cardstock, and we are going to stamp all of these down so that I can color them and put them on. And this is oxide inks, distress oxides on the front portion. Then we'll get into some of the LDRS Creative inks on the inside portion. Oh, and as I'm stamping, actually, we'll do that. So let me just stop here, and we're going to go into the creative part of this tutorial. Now, have you seen anything like this before? I show you how it's going to turn out first, and then I jump into how I did it. I don't know. It's the way the edit is going this evening. I'm actually starting it, and it's 9 o'clock in the evening, and I'm just going to move forward because I want it, because I wanted to have this tutorial up as soon as I was up. Yeah. So I missed everybody. Thank you so much. I've been answering your comments, making sure that I catch up, and I appreciate it. So we've got into cracked pistachio and then a darker green. Just mix up 2 greens for the grass, and then we're going to come in with 2 blues. You know, using these oxide inks, even though it's an LDRS Creative tutorial for my design team project, I wanted to just mix it up. I wanted to have something that wasn't so, I don't know, I wanted that chalky look for the water when I was approaching doing this scene on here. And it's kind of like, I don't know, celebration because of the sentiment. But you can send this along for anything. It is, you know, a really cute ocean scene. And I think that's just lovely to create anything oceany. So grab yourself, you know, even mixing some greens with this. I love the colors. They'll all be on my blog. So right now at 9 o'clock, I can't think of the colors. I took my Distress sprayer and just shot some water out there. I did it to the top portion and the bottom. Let it sink in for a little bit. Then apply your paper towel and it comes out beautiful. Now that would make a beautiful, right there, would make a beautiful sky, wouldn't it? I mean, it really would. And like I have to convince you, right? Yeah. Most of the time, you know, if you're a seasoned card maker, you know all the time where I'm going with things. But if you're just beginning, it's a fun process to do something like that. I love to share that. I have been in stamping for 5 years now, and I have loved every single minute. And working with LDRS Creative has been a dream. I absolutely love working for Angie Hunt and all the design team members. They're such a nice family to work with. So let's continue here. I'm just putting in an extra little piece. I took a Hills die set and cut this out because it had the stitching. And I think we all have one of these in our stash that make the hills. If not, just take your scissors and make some hills. With this being 4 1/4 inches wide, it doesn't take much to make you know, some little waves in there. And I did change up the greens in this so that I had some dark and light putting it down, as you can see there. I kind of staggered the colors. I think it's very pretty. And then I'm going to apply, this way I can put the palm trees on there and I can still have the ocean scene in the back. And that's what's beautiful about a cartoon style. You know, not realism like my canvas that I made. It actually matches this so well. I think you're really going to like it. If you have an 8.5 by 10 inch flat canvas, you're going to enjoy the process, even though it came with some challenges. So let's move along. I'm taking my LDRS Creative inks. I'll put the colors all down there for you. And I am putting a light and a dark. That's fast to read. I can't even do that. Well, I saw that that was coffee bean for the trunk of the palm tree because I had to stop it in the edit. So I slowed it down. Yeah, and then I decided to go ahead and do black and just color them in with my Copics. That's a quick and easy way if you're looking to put little items. Now these are wee little stamps in the sense that it makes a gorgeous little front scene. You could put it on an A2 size card beautifully, as well as something this long. I mean, 8 3/4 inches long is quite long, but yet when you see the whole feature of it and how it's put together, it really is the perfect size, I think. So here we go. I'm going to need 3 trees, but I stamped 4 so that I could put one behind another one just to raise it up, and you'll see that. And then I'm going to pick out the Copics that I'm going to use. And I love, love, love the fact that you have the little dolphin and then you have a dolphin fin. Now, once I stamped it, that's what I was doing. I was going over to get my LDRS Creative clear embossing powder. And then I'm going to, shake it off and heat set it. And this is the order that we're going to go in. I'm actually doing something in order right here. Yeah, stamping and then coloring. Isn't that amazing? I'm going to quickly put this on a high speed once I heat set this to color. All you need is a dark tone. I went to my grays and I went with the Cool family. So I started with the C2 and then I went on to C4 I put some lilac in there. It's always nice to have that. It's a V2O. And then I went over it with my marker just to outline it, add a few little specked features in there so we had a little bit of curve to it with the lines, nothing complicated. Then I'm taking some LDRS Creative stamps and doing ink to stamp, excuse me, and look at that. And this way you can get all these different colors in it because you're stamping all over the place and you're really not worrying where it's going to go. As long as you have green on the top and brown on the bottom, you're doing a great job. And the little bouncy ball here, I tried to change up the colors a little bit. I did some of the oranges. Here I'm going over it with the cool tones and in the grays. There's my marker just to outline it. And because they're so small, I like to see the dark black lines of the image. So I go back and just take my Copic friendly marker and go over it. And now I'm going over the little flip-flops. Such a cute set. And then I fussy cut them all. Oh yeah, fussy cutting. I used to love to fussy cut. Isn't that funny how we go in these stages of liking to do some things and then some things you don't? Now, I did the sun and cloud die, and it actually has the beautiful seagulls there. See how it, but it has a seagull stamp. So it has the little seagulls in black that you stamp on there, and then it has the larger die set with the seagulls, so you can use it either way. And I love the sun, okay? I love the sun because it has an inside feature to darken up. You can even put a small sentiment in there. I just like the look of this die set. Everything about it, the clouds, the seagull, the sun, beauteous. So I'll make the underneath portion darker with the more, you know, the coffee bean and some of the orange tones, and in the LDRS Creative inks. One is the tea stain, just beautiful. Like I said, they'll all be on my blog. Then I take my Copic markers and I add some grays and blues to the clouds. Yeah, I'm going back to another, I wanted to lighten up the back portion. That's what I was doing. I found the bottom brown a bit dark, so I thought I would change it up with orange and browns and see which one I liked when I put it together. I think everything coordinates beautifully with this release. It's just gorgeous. The papers, the dies, the stamps, everything comes together. And with Little Darling rubber stamps, the one thing that's nice is you can go back to any sets and put them all together. They just cooperate one with another. Now, here's the waves. These have bubbles in them. These waves, when you see it up close, so I put, you know, ran 6 or 7 lines on there, and then it has a straight line. So I mixed up the dark and light with the blues and greens and purple, you know, just have a blast. And this stamp set comes with the wave, you know, like the bubble bloop, bloop, bloop stamp. And you can put that down so it mixes up those waves. You can do it upside down, right side up. And I went with a lighter tone here, just so I could put more of them on there. I think it looks really sweet. You get the watery look, you get the grass thing going on the bottom. So crazy cute. And of course, an email coming in. I think it's, you know, this kind of a card doesn't have room for error. I mean, how much error can you make putting some hills on there with grass and then doing an ocean scene? I mean, there's so much beauty in the ocean that you could just go on, and whether you put it straight, crooked, upside down, I think it would look beautiful. And I love the quality. I want to just mention this. This is LDRS Creative white ink, and I'm going to put a few things. So I want a shadow. I don't want it to be dark. I just want a shadow for stamping in black. I think this is a nice, if you try this on any stamps and just put a subtle white shadow in it, you know, off to one side, you get such a pretty look. And if you heat set it with clear embossing powder, even even better, an extra bonus for you. Always good to have shadow, and white works out well. You know, when we put our eyeshadow on and you get in the creases there, if you have a white eye pencil, this is a bonus now. Put white down in the creases right close to the innermost part of your nose and up, and it makes your nose smaller, makes your eyes bigger. Isn't that awesome to know? Yeah, throwing that in there, a little beauty tip. from, yeah, from a 64-year-old. But hey, you know, it's a beauty tip. I'll take any beauty tips, right? So here we go. Palm trees. Love palm trees. We don't have them in Ontario, but I do love them. Florida has beautiful ones. Georgia, oh my. Virginia. I don't know when we were in Virginia. I don't think there was palm trees in Virginia. I get your states. I know your states, but I forget what's there. I do know Georgia has the loveliest magnolia trees I've ever seen. So let's go on. After I colored all of them in, I put glossy accents on everything, because why not? And it just gives it that wet look. So just go crazy with that thing, with the glossy accents. I ran out of anything else that would dry quicker. I'm down to my glossy accents, can you believe it? And then some clouds, and I put even some of the big seagulls in with the black small seagulls. There's just something mysterious about that to me. I really like it. And then overset your clouds, raise one up. I added blue, and I went with the BG, let me just see, the BG000 on the clouds. And then when I did the, let's see, I used a CO2 for the gray, maybe even jumped up to a C4. You'll know what's nice when you start creating your own card. And then I'm getting rid of some of the Nouveau glue, which isn't necessary. It dries clear. And look at that, a beautiful scene. And then I get out my Nouveau drops to put inside those bubbles in 2 colors, which makes this card have 4 different blue tones, 4 hues on it. And I love the way the tail sticks out past the card out of the water. I just think it adds a little something to the card. I offset the sun, and I'll grab my Copic light yellow and I'll put it on the middle of the sun. I think it looks sweet. And you know, even looking at it, when you have that white fold come over your card, when you have clouds, it doesn't overtake your creative process at all. And yeah, when I do this, because for time, I thought I'll just put everything over on to my blog. Everything you need to know what I'm coloring with, and where to get it when I put the link up. Yes. So here we go. And isn't it cute? I mean, really. I love the way it's jammed into 4 1/4, and then the lengthwise being longer instead of the other way around. It just makes that water look more realistic, if you can say that in this style. And this new release is fantabulous. It's beautiful. I love the dies. I like dies in all things. I like dies attached to stamps because I don't like to fussy cut. Yeah. Anything that takes up a lot of time now, you know, when I could be creating, I kind of set to the side. It's not that much of an excitement anymore to fussy cut. I know some people it's very relaxing, but no. My fussy cutting days are over, but look at there. I can't wait to use that scalloped rectangle die set there to the left. Oh, yeah, I think I'll do a card with that today. I have to put up the canvas. You won't believe. I did the canvas first. It had nothing, I did the canvas before I got this release. And then when I couldn't believe when I got the release that they actually intermingled one with another. Even though I'm not satisfied with the end result of the canvas, that's fine. You know, you need practice. And I certainly, you know, needed to finish it. You know, I don't throw out anything if I can help it. And we need practice. So when you practice, very rarely, sometimes it does, but very rarely in my case, do I get perfection on practicing. Because I find you're more relaxed, and I don't know. When you're practicing, you know it's not going to go up. It's not going to be something that's going to be hanging up in a museum anywhere. And when you see that video, oh, you'll be going, how true is that, Carol? Yeah. So here on black and white, I mean, you can't beat this. To put a little sentiment, let's celebrate. So cute. Yes, I love it. And then we're going to move forward to create the inside and the envelope. Well, look at this sunburst die. Oh my. I could think of at least 10 projects at the time while I was cutting this out of my 140-pound cardstock. I love to use a thick cardstock on die cuts for some reason, if they're large especially. And it has the heart, it has intermingled circles that can be used for so many things. And I love the way that this sunburst goes, like I said, with everything else LDRS Creative produces. It's fabulous. So here I'm just making sure that it's going to fit in the envelope. Sorry, I was having a fresh tomato sandwich on an English muffin. Why not, right? I know it's my design team project, and I know I like to have fun. And I know Angie would like me to have fun when I'm doing my tutorial. So I didn't realize it was in there, but hey, let's keep it real, right? We all need to have something to eat in between creating. So mine was a fresh tomato on an English muffin with salt and pepper and real butter. Yum, yum. So here in the card, let's get back to the card tutorial. In here, I loved these raindrops. I like the color of this light blue. It brought out the lighter tone on the front. Excuse me. And yeah, and then I put on the back side, I had another sheet of paper that had different designs on it, but I got rid of that, and you'll see why once I set these on. And I'm using a super sticky tape runner as well, and that makes a big difference. That's the Tombow Extreme. I really like that. I use it sparingly because it's not inexpensive. It's not cheap. But if you get it at Michael's and use your coupon, it's fine. But, you know, other than using a coupon, yeah, it's quite expensive for that, I think. You know, I would get it online. I'm going to post it where it's much less a price for you than getting it, let's say, at Michael's when you don't want to use a coupon just for a tape runner. Now I went through my Simon Says stamp glitter paper and found this dark glitter. And this glitter paper is like it's plain paper. It has the glitter, but you can't feel it. It's amazing. And I like the color, so I just cut it a little bit inside the, you know, so it didn't stick out on the outside. And I put that down because this truly brought out the blue in the front. You don't have to say anything with this. I struggled to put even a sentiment in the middle, but I just thought it said enough on there. It was like these droplets of water. Instead of a sun spray, it just gave the illusion of all of this water bubbles, and yeah, I really liked it. Use some Nouveau glue. Make sure it doesn't matter what liquid glue as long as it dries nicely. And I'm just taking some of the oozing out of the circles, and yeah, it's really pretty. So I'm going to set that down, and I am happy with it. I'm looking around to see, okay, do I need to change those light raindrop paper? And no, you don't, because on the front of the card you have all of these colors intertwined with the oxide inks, all smushed together inside there. So have a blast, be creative. That's why it's called LDRS Creative. Now, once I zoom in, I'm getting serious about this thing. This thing called LDRS Creative beautiful card that displays their fabulous products. I get so excited when they arrive. I mean, I can't wait to get projects started. But because mine are a little lengthy, I don't get as many up as I would like, but I do have fun creating with them. And I want to show you as many techniques using LDRS Creative products and stickles. Yes, stickles. It's just perfect. And these are the things we have in our stash. At least when stickles came out, I was amazed. I can remember the first time I saw it on a video, that the shine and the sparkle and whoa, I have to get them all. Having full set syndrome, I can't help myself. And I'm sure we all have a few stickles hanging around. And I thought this would bring in the 3 colors on the front of the card and give you the glitter that is in the portion in the middle, which takes out the fact that I left my white cardstock white. If you watch my tutorials, I have a real problem with keeping anything white. That's probably why I don't have a white craft room. I certainly, when I was designing my craft room, I could have had this glorious all white, sterile room. I always think of that like walking into a sterile room. And don't get me wrong, I love the look. It looks clean and I love it. But I have antiques and I wanted to incorporate antiques in the room. And instead of having to buy, the white stuff, I thought I'd rather have a whole lot of product that I could play around with and then just put my what's me in my craft room. And, craft rooms don't make creativity. Can I stress that? If you want to write that on the bathroom wall, that craft rooms do not create for you. Nice craft rooms, messy craft rooms, whatever it is, it does not create. It doesn't have anything to do with the creativity that's in your mind. It is just what, you've decided to incorporate around your creativity, so don't ever think you have to have this glorious craft room to create. You don't. I used to create on our kitchen island when I first began my tutorials. Look at that close-up of the dolphins and the bubbles with the Nuvo. Look at the dies. They're perfection. They really are. The stamps are. Everything about this. The design and everything. The cute little lobster and right down to the tiny flip-flops and the tail. Oh, this was terrific. And then the surprise on the inside, it totally takes you back. But there we go again. It's creativity. You don't have to have, everything matchy-matchy, but it does, in a sense, pull itself together because the colors are right. So, yeah. So let's fold that up, put it in an envelope, and create one. I'm going to put it in super fast motion because we don't need to see how We Are Memory Keepers makes an envelope. All the instructions are on the front, quite easy peasy. So I created the envelope. I take off, when I fold something, if it's too crisp on the fold, I go around and take a little bit off on all the edges. So I slowed this down. This is my little inker, I think it's called, die. And I just think this is, I know that, I think in one of the collections for LDRS, I'm going to post it for you so that you do have a rainbow die to do this, but I think it's these little extra touches. I wanted to have the inside flap to have a rainbow and the outside flap, and I wanted them to meet when it was folded down. So this is all you have to do. It's so easy peasy. Don't even worry that you can see through it. I'm just in the creative stage thinking, okay, how can I do this? First, I need to cut that top portion off, and just a little bit so it's not hitting the top of the envelope, because that would distract me. And because it's a thick cardstock, just save the die cut. And that die cut has pieces parts in it that you take out. So I made 2 of them. You can see one on the flap, on each flap, top and bottom. Took off the same amount on each portion, and then I'm going to make the back drop. So how I'm going to do this is easy peasy. Put the straight edge on the straight edge of your envelope, then turn it over and trace it. Right here I'm just taping it down so I can turn it over, trace it out, and or die. Yes, I remember this. I just used my cutting knife on the glass mat. But you could just trace it if you don't have the cutting knife, not important. Just trace it, cut it with, long scissors so you don't have to make so many chomps. That's what gives you that chompy edge. Just get a long scissor and cut it out. And in my case, I guess I used my cutting knife. And then you're going to put that over top because I am going to use glitter. Whoa, yes, glitter. And it's actually the glitter is an old Stampin' Up! Glitter from years gone by. When I used to order from Stampin' Up!, I made sure I, got some of the glitter because I thought back then that glitter was awesome. I still do in its, in its place. Glitter has a place, not in every place. It's something you want to visit now and again. You don't want it to roost there. You don't want glitter to bring its luggage and stay in your craft room, use it all the time, no. But you do want it to be a welcome guest. So here we go. You're just going to make sure that you have 2 pieces. Obviously, if you're going to place glitter and you're going to put this back in, it's nice. I'm taping the back because you're not going to see it. And I took the guts out of the die because, the die had the pieces to come out. You can leave them in or out. I chose not to. And look at the paper from the paper pack did the job. No coloring necessary. Then here's my salt shaker full of that yummy glitter. And, oh, excuse me, glitter! You thought he wasn't coming in there. Oh yeah, and when you put the tape across it, you have the sticky that the glitter will stick to, right? Look at that. Then I stick it on right here so that nothing moves, and I can put my piece that we cut out over top, the extra flap so you don't see it, and look at that. Now, the tape that I put on was to keep the glitter on. So you're going to tape right over your rainbow, add your glitter, and then rub it all off, and then turn it over and tape it down. So nothing will escape. It'll be nice and clean, and you want clean when you're working with glitter, right? And add the glitter where you see it's needed. Then we're going to put the flaps back on to cover it. And I think it's plain and simple. I could have done a whole scene on the front. That's the same as, on the card. But I thought this was just beautiful in itself to have the flaps fold and have this beautiful color. And I used the LDRS Creative papers that were rainbow centered. I mean, no coloring necessary. It's all there for you. This 6x6 paper packs are a must. They're super thick and they're super creative. The coloring, everything about them, all the colors they lend themselves to so much creativity. It's amazing. So now I'm going to cut that off, like I said, with my long scissors. This eliminates having to use your cutting blades. Just quick, easy peasy. Back in the day, we didn't have trimmers, and that we just had old-fashioned scissors, and they did the job for everything. And the Tim Holtz long scissor is perfect for this project, of course. So here we go, taping it all down with my ATG because I love it. So sticky. Put it down, the flap. You'll never know how this was created. When you flip open the flap, I like that. And you have this beautiful rainbow showing through. Isn't it pretty? I just think it's pretty. I like pretty and I like simplicity at times. I think it just, look at it. you open it up and then you have a beautiful rainbow on each flap, but in a different spot. So cute. Now we have ourselves a matching envelope. Cut it off to how you think it looks pretty. I'll give you a close-up in just a minute of that glitter. It all matches. It's all LDRS Creative in some way. Look at that paper. It's just perfect for this card, for a rainbow. And the glitter, and all you need is the Scotch tape to hold it on the one side when you die cut. And now I wanted to have a little palm tree on the inside. And if I was thinking, I wouldn't have put the tape on. I would turn it over and did the stamping first. But, you know, it all works out well in the end. So it's okay. So I put some tape runner on the sides so the flap would stay down when I put it in. Now, I couldn't put the envelope inside because you know how I don't stick it down. I put the envelope in, stick it down so I know it's going to fit. It's not going to be that flat. You need space in there. But the glitter was drying. The stickles were drying. So I just held it up a bit and then put, you know, seat it. Make sure you seat it down, leaving a little lift on it, and then your card will fit in perfectly. So I took some of my Tombow markers, any color will do, put some beautiful seagulls flying around. Then I put glossy accents on it, but first I went over it with my Copic Friendly pen. I wanted to have more of an outline on the edges of this, and you'll see that when you look at the pictures at the end of the tutorial. And I hope that this design team project for LDRS Creative was inspirational for you, that it gave you some ideas on just using different ways to incorporate your stamps and dies on a project, on a really cute project that you can use. I mean, a sea scene, if I can use the term there, a sea scene is wonderful for children and adults alike, you know, male or female. It works out perfectly. And you'll love LDRS Creative. It is top-notch products. And not because I design for them, because I would buy them. And I really enjoy using them. And their inks are hybrid inks. I want to say that again, hybrid inks. My favorite inks to use. And gives you time to emboss with it because, you know, it has the dye and then it has all the ingredients of a perfect ink to me to have a hybrid ink. And I'll leave that on my blog as well so you can check it out. And look at that, a tiny scene in the left-hand corner. Then we're going to get back because I think my stickles were dry. I'm not sure. I have to check that out, but we're just going to, this is like, kind of like, let's see what we created here. And it's so different, isn't it? Like when you open it up, and that's where I found out, uh-oh, Carol, you have to, I had to re-stickle a few places because once again, I put the card flap down. If you remember, excuse me, in one of my tutorials, I did the same thing. I don't learn from my own mistakes. So, yeah, I just went back and refreshed some of the stickles, and then I put it in the card, and it fit. Oh, yeah, there I'm going. Oh, no. Oh, did it hit the... Yeah, that's why I'm holding it like this, because I don't want it to touch the inside portion of the front of the flap, or I'd have to do something with that. Yeah, go place it somewhere, Carol. Just, yeah. So here I am, getting out my stickles. I don't think you need to see that. Taking off some of the goop and resituating my stickles. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this beautiful release and that you'll check it out over on my blog. I'll leave my blog post. I'm going to leave this in because I like to chit-chat at the end. Thank you for your patience as I was, you know, I've learned that if you're not well, you need to rest. And, you know, the other things will come back. And that's what I did. And I'm super excited. I'm going to work on putting up the canvas so you can show how they, see how they matched. Thank you for subscribing. I sure appreciate it. I appreciate LDRS Creative having me as a design team member. And I love your comments. You know, they actually add to my videos. So you can check out all of my social media, and that is it, folks. Woo! We have finished. Take care. Have a blessed week.